Hey guys, Julien here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make cosmic techno melodies like this. And this. As well as a whole slew of other style of melodies in the style. I'm basically going to be talking to you about everything you need to know to write these style of melodies for your own techno tracks. Now, to go along with this video, I've just dropped a new sample pack. It's called 50 Cosmic Techno Melodies Volume 1. What it is it's 50 MIDI files of different melodies in this style. I'll play you a few of them. So as you can hear, there's a bunch of different melodies in here. All of these could be their own track on their own. You could literally just make 50 tracks out of these. But yeah, so you get those MIDI files, plus I have some bonus audio loops of different melodies included, so you can mess with those too. And then on top of this, you also get 2 demo projects. So the one I'm going to be showing you here that I'm going to be using for this tutorial, as well as the other one that you heard. So yeah, the link to this is at the top of the description. This is a really great way to support me, guys. I don't make a whole lot off of these videos, but with these different sample packs and stuff like this, I'm able to teach you guys something and give you a very valuable resource. And it also supports me and helps me stay alive and keep making these videos for you guys if you enjoy them. Yeah, like I said, it's a great way to support and keep me going. And yeah, let's get started with the tutorial. Link to that is at the top of the description. So I have this project in front of me. This is the first demo project from the pack. And I'm just going to be using this melody to explain some different things. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is the type of scale that you want to use to write these styles of melodies. So what these melodies are usually written in is a mode known as the Phrygian mode, or I guess you would call it like minor Phrygian scale. Basically, it's any key you want to be in, but then you're just, like in this case, we're in A minor. So it's just any minor key, and then it's like these intervals. So there's A, the root note, the 9th, minor 3rd, the 4th, and let me just make these, the 5th, that note, which is just one note up from the 5th, and then the 7th, and then we can go back up to the root. So that's the scale where most of these styles of melodies are going to be written. And you can literally just take this and like move the scale too. Like it doesn't have to be in A minor. You can just take this, say we want to be in F sharp minor. There we go. But those are all the different voices that you're usually hearing in these tracks. So what I would recommend doing, if you're having a hard time getting started, is just write out like this little Phrygian mode thing here in whichever scale or whichever key you want to be in, and just have that. Like you could just, like if you hit this fold here, then you'll just see the notes. And now we could write anything we want in the F sharp minor scale. And now anything that we write is going to fit. But you can see, once you start using this mode, you really start to get that feel for it pretty quickly. You know, it's not really that hard once you're using the right notes. And just kind of like understanding the different intervals between the notes too. Like how we have here, for example, just one semitone between these 2 notes, but then like 3 between those 2. And then same deal there. And just understanding how that works. Like, you know, maybe you want something a little bit more tender and a little bit more kind of like emotive. So you would do root note, 8 notes up, and then 5th like this. But then let's say like in the next bar, you wanted it to be kind of like, you know, a bit darker. Then you could take these 2 notes down and just do like the minor 3rd and the 9th. And now we go. it's like you start to get a feel for how the different voices are going to play off of each other. So yeah, that's the first thing I would really recommend, is just study that Phrygian scale. And oddly enough, this is actually also the kind of scale that a lot of trap beats are made in, I realized, because I also make trap beats as well as techno. And yeah, like a lot of those sort of like dark, like Metro Boomin style trap beats, like you guys have been hearing for the past few years, you know, all the like Travis Scott type beats, like that type of vibe, it's all just using this scale as well. So this is really universal. A lot of different styles of music use this, and I think it's just a good one for when you're trying to make something a bit more sophisticated and darker like this. So yeah, that's the first thing. Really study that minor Phrygian mode. The next piece of advice I have for you in terms of writing these melodies is use less notes. And if you listen to this melody here, this actually does a pretty good job of exemplifying this. See how it's only playing like really a few notes? It's kind of just A. We have, yeah, so we have A and F, and then just like B and E and D. Very simple notes, very few notes, but you can see that if you do this, you know, you can actually imply a lot with less notes. And where that really comes in is just like understanding like what the notes are going to do together. Like, for example, here, this is root note and the ninth. So that's going to have a very particular feel. And then if we switch it to the minor third, just one note up from the ninth, all of a sudden it's a very different melody. So like understanding that, and you'll also start to see different chord shapes in it too. Like you can see how there's like this, for example. That's actually just a D minor chord. We have D, the root note, F, the minor third, and then A, the fifth. And then we're just walking down that. So like, you know, if you just kind of look to different chord shapes and see like how those kind of work together, like, you know, this is implying a whole chord progression. I could have, if I really wanted to, you know, we could just make these into like, you know, we really could do that and really like spread everything out, but you can see like when you use less notes, you just don't need that, and you can imply a lot and then kind of leave a lot up to the listener. But this is really going to help because if you listen to like this track, for example, you know, techno isn't made to be the most complicated thing. It's really not supposed to be too many things happening at once. It's supposed to be very simple music that you can kind of find a space and fit into. And so when you have a more complex melody, it doesn't really help that. But if you have something really simple like this with a lot of symmetry, where every single time it's like, bow, 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 you know, it's like a lot of space between the notes, and you know where every note is going to hit for the most part. Now you can see it starting to fit in, versus like, you know, just as an example, let's just add like some maybe unnecessary extra voices here. Like, let's say we just had that. Like, that does sound cool, but it's not necessary. We can get away with less notes. And with less notes, it's gonna sound a lot better in the track. So yeah, I really recommend like limiting the amount of notes that you use, both in terms of like, you know, say, you know, instead of using like A and G sharp, maybe just use A and G, you know, stuff like that. Like just always going through and kind of finessing and really getting to understand like what are the essential notes and what are the ones that I can either get rid of or imply in a different way without having to actually have a note there. So yeah, and then the last tip that I have for you is play with the octaves. So what I mean by this is I'm actually going to make a new melody just to kind of show you this. So let's say that we have a melody that's really, really simple, right? Like say we're just doing like this. So this is just 3 notes. It's just A, B, and C. Just the root note, ninth, and minor third. This is probably the most simple type of cosmic techno melody you could write. And you can hear it's just 3 notes. That's all it is. We could add more notes to this. You know, maybe you could do like something like that. But you see how that starts to kind of like cloud it up because it's just more notes. It's more information for your brain to take in. You could also just take this and play with the octaves a little bit. Like I said, like maybe we could move these 3 down an octave. So now this is technically like 2 different notes, but it's your brain is hearing the same thing, so it's not overcomplicating it, but it's just like, you know, again, it's not just 4 notes in the same octave with the same synth. Now they're in different octaves, and you could go even more hard with this too. Like maybe we could take this one and there you go. You can see that's actually a cool melody. I'm probably gonna use that. Nobody steal that. You can hear, like, there we go. It's still the same 3 notes that you heard. Really simple pattern. But now we spread them out, and it's created more for the melody out of less notes. So yeah, that is pretty much going to be it for this one, guys. Like I said, I just wanted to give you a bunch of tips that I figured out writing these tracks and making my own tracks in the style. And yeah, so that's me for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said, you can get the 50 Techno Melodies MIDI pack in the description on my Bandcamp, as well as the free bonus audio loops and bonus project files. So you really have everything that you need to make really great tracks just using this sample pack. And once again, this is a great way to support me. It really helps me out, guys. Again, like with everything right now, I appreciate all the support. You guys are keeping me afloat. And yeah, thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.